All right, ready? Purple haze. I was really hoping you were going to light your guitar on fire or something, or play it behind your head or something, something that would make Jimi proud. There you go.
Try this.
Yeah, something like that.
All right, ready? Let's give this a shot.
Okay. You got this.
I'm too old. Okay.
Bravo.
That's a non-starter right there. That's what they call an epic fail textbook. If you look it up in the Oxford Dictionary, there's a picture of me. If you took a screenshot of that, that's an epic fail. Let's go, guys.
Good. Ready for 2025.
Last week of the year, basically. Last full week of the year, at least, right?
Right.
Good to see you, Marc.
Yeah. Got to have time to connect.
No.
Yeah,
No.
absolutely. Have you been good holiday season, Marc? Has it been good?
Yeah, parenting here at home with children, so it's getting tricky.
Did you do the TO thing? That's what we wanted.
Yeah, of course we did it. Yeah, of course. It was exciting.
About Tio.
We left it again in the forest. But yeah, it's getting tricky to convince children when they grow up
Oh, really?
about the magic.
About the magic?
They start to
It's
not
easier.
believe.
Santa Claus has an easier job, I guess.
No, I don't think there's anything.
Santa Claus struggles getting kids to believe as they get older. But Tio is out there. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And TO is real time, You just you needs to poo, in real time. So it's hard. It's hard to.
Right.
So Santa Claus has all night, right, to deliver the presents. But TO it's like real time versus real time architectures.
Right.
Real time. Low latency.
Something really stupid, like there's the idea of leaving out cookies or milk for Santa Claus in the middle of the night. I was like, did a post, I had pictures of, chili dogs for Santa at night. And then the comments were, that's probably going to slow Santa down. He's going to have to take some pit stops, go into the bathroom or something like that. He may not make it around.
Yeah, but that's probably how the TO came about,
Yes, the TO came from that.
Santa poo.
Bad chili.
Yeah.
Bad chili.
We don't have
He is
chilies here.
Convert himself into a magical log that craps presents out, which is, makes a lot of sense, actually. It's an ecosystem play.
But we have these. I don't know how you call these. I don't know if you have these. A scene. You put figures of the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we have one special figure here that it's someone who's pooing.
Oh.
It's called Kagane.
I know. Oh my gosh, what is you guys?
Maybe it's chili. It's chili thing. Yeah.
It's the chili that's causing that problem. So I'm sure there are churches all over the world that are building out their little miniature nativity scenes.
Yeah, nativity scene. Yeah.
Yeah, but then there's this one little guy.
Absolutely, yeah. I can send you the if you search in the Wikipedia, you can find it. Yeah,
Okay.
People are going. What
if you want to put it in
Yeah.
It's a figure depicted in the act of defecation appearing in the nativity scenes.
Oh my
In the
God.
18th century, yeah. Maybe it's older than some cities in the US. Huh?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Wow. Wow. Somebody's like, let's put some guy taking a crap in the nativity scene. And now it's on Wikipedia. So it must be real.
You know what? That was probably historically accurate, though, if you really think about it. You know, somewhere in the village, somebody was taking a crap.
Exactly.
You know,
Absolutely.
and it has this humanizing effect. You know, it's just, you know, because when we think of the nativity scene, it's all about, you know, all this godly power and divine XYZ, and it's a reminder that we're all human. So yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
But how many products or companies just are still living or were part of our lives because of this, no, of a joke or something like that, right?
Oh yeah. So yeah, hey,
my beer,
everyone, to IoT Coffee Talk. What? What was that?
He was just like, hold my beer. Yeah.
Welcome to this final episode of the year, really, right? Where we're going to recap what happened in the world of IoT and the world of Rob Tiffany, quite frankly. We're going to focus on, because everything revolves around Rob Tiffany. And therefore, this blanket annual statement is all that more relevant and urgent, which is take it seriously at your own risk. And please don't do anything stupid based on what we've said. We're just having fun. And if you do, remember, it's your fault. Okay, it's all on you.
Yes.
So with that, we also have to give a plug for Elevate Our Kids. The year is not over yet, so please consider donating to Elevate Our Kids. For 2024, we're always in the process of raising funds for kids K through 12 in underserved and unserved communities. This particular year, we're going to be focusing on Asheville, North Carolina, that was hit very devastatingly by Hurricane Helene. And we're partnering with T-Mobile, okay, to get connectivity in addition to devices out to these kids in these distressed communities. And so we hope that you have it in your heart to give. If not, you can pick up an IoT Coffee Talk t-shirt for all you Grinches out there, post-Christmas Grinches out there. You can look good.
That's some cool merch for sure.
Yeah, and buy it for your whole family. You know, when you go out to New Year's celebration, just wear IoT Coffee Talk shirts and hoodies, and not only will you be warm, but you're going to look really cool.
You'll look really cool. People are going to be pointing at you, whispering, "Oh my God, did you see what he's wearing? How do I get that?"
It happens. It happens.
Yeah.
It really does, you know.
It's like right there with Louis Vuitton, you know.
Yeah. So, no, www.elevateourkids.org. That's where you go to make your donation, and the kids will thank you. Okay.
Yeah, all that. I just love how Leonard, you know, you're like, the whole this is entertainment purposes. Don't take what we're saying seriously, whatever. I mean, it's like we're on CNBC or Fox Business or like our buddies doing their 6-5 media countdown talks where they're like, because we're professional stock traders, don't take us seriously here. This is for entertainment purposes only.
Well, you do have to make those kind of disclaimers when you do talk about valuation and stock prices, right? Which those guys do. And we don't.
Like our friend, I always see Ray Wong. He's always on those shows too. I see him on CNBC and Fox Business. Yeah.
We're all about the technology and industry trends. That's why we avoid those things. And then The only thing that we talk about is crypto. That's it.
Exactly. And this is why Leonard doesn't take himself seriously, because he bought a bunch of bitcoins when he was telling shit about Bitcoin.
In the back when it was
like $20,000.
Yeah.
Right.
But hey, I did pose that question. I was really shocked. I went to the Helium website and now there's only 375,000 hotspots. There used to be 1 million.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going on? And then, all the research that I've done, there's no indication that these guys have actually created a substantial global network. It goes back to our earlier thing. Yeah, they hitched themselves to Solana, and Solana's gone up for speculative reasons, clearly. But that's not, again, we were talking about anchoring onto some sort of economic value. Doesn't look like that's happened. It looks like the network's shrinking.
Yeah.
What you guys are saying?
Well, that happened a long time ago, actually, a couple of years ago, I guess.
Yeah.
It's shrinking. When there was this movement of creating sublayers of the Helium token.
Yeah.
So there is the layer of IoT, which is the LoRaWAN network, and the mobile network.
Yeah.
So then basically the LoRaWAN hotspot owners had so little amount of tokens that probably most of them just turn it off.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Yeah.
The ones who are providing, like giving coverage or doing something relevant, so they don't turn it off, right?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So everybody was hoping to make a lot of money on tokens, and it just didn't happen. And so if there's no money, it's like, bye-bye, I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of like Mr. Wonderful on Shark Tank. And for those reasons, I'm out. Marc Cuban, Sorry.
I give it the middle finger.
Exactly. Yeah. Sounds like a horrible idea. I'm out. Wow.
Yeah.
I know. We should create our own this year, our own updated version of Helium, and we'll call it Ponzi.
Oh my God, dude. That's so crazy.
Yeah. Another pyramid scheme.
It really is.
If you get in early, you're going to make all the money.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes and no. It's about at the end, no, the usage. I think it has a decent price right now. So just to maintain that price, I don't know. Now it's $3-5 per token.
Yeah.
It was 0.001.
But it still goes back to the problem we talked about before. That's fine, but that's the speculative gambling part of all of this stuff. The other part is where is that economic value that is hydrating that quote unquote so-called currency, and it doesn't exist. Or it's not viable. And I'll have to be honest with you. I was hoping that Helium would somehow prove all the thousands of ICOs and these, economic tokens that were floated back in the blockchain days, that it would somehow make an impact. And I remember a T-Mobile executive telling me, I asked him, so what do you think about this thing? He goes, this thing is crap. He literally called it shit. And I was like thinking, you guys just had a press release with these guys. But the whole thinking was, yeah, sure, they can MVNO on top of us, but we're wholesaling to them, and whatever little spots that they can fill that we don't, let them go ahead and friggin' try to do it. So these guys never really did the homework, but they made money off of the ICO and floating this crypto, right? And when you think about the whole narrative and how the Helium narrative is played out, think about it. Did it deliver? And it's sad that it hasn't, but I was really shocked to see that it was like, whoa, you went from 1 million hotspots to 375,000.
Do you know how many? I don't know if you have the map in front of you. How many are cellular connectivity and how many are LoRaWAN?
I don't think it matters because
Okay.
if it's
No, it's interesting. It's interesting to learn because cellular it's only US possible because CBRS is only
Yeah.
available in the US. So I'm not sure how big is the coverage by Helium hotspot instead of.
Yeah, I would be less concerned about. But the problem is there's already tons of cellular connectivity, and in order to fill their gaps, they have to piggyback off of a major carrier, right? And they're not going to build out. You're not going to have some little dude build out.
It's huge.
Or anybody build out a macro network in an urban area. So these guys are like filling gaps in small areas. And how do you? I mean, the economics don't change just because you use the crypto. Connecting people in the middle of nowhere is bad business. That's just the way it is, Like
For people.
Yeah.
Leonard doesn't care.
No, I care.
I think
if you're a service, that's why you have government, right? They have to subsidize that. Like postal service. I mean, think about how expensive it is to get a friggin' letter out to some dude that lives out in the middle of friggin', I don't know, like in the outskirts of Fairbanks, Alaska. They're probably in terms of man hours, the fuel, the time. It probably costs like $200 to get that one letter. That the sender paid only maybe 25 cents for. How does that work out? You need government to subsidize that.
But I think that we already knew that all the previous low power wide area network global telcos also failed, right? So from the Things network, the open part of the LoRaWAN network, to Sigfox and now Helium. So that proved that probably there is no business here.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think cellular is going to change? I mean, the satellite stuff is going to change things?
Maybe.
No. But you need so it doesn't work on indoor location. So most of the use cases where LoRaWAN or Sigfox work, the devices were inside warehouses, for example.
Right.
So you don't have satellite communication there.
And he said an important thing here when we talk about
private stuff, right? That can be like private. It doesn't have to be a friggin' open macro type scenario.
Just what Marc said about indoors and warehouses and stuff like that. It's a reminder to everybody who's like, I can't believe how many eSIM, global SIM data providers there are out there now. There's lots of new ones coming on, and they're all brand new, and they think they're special. And they go, you wouldn't believe the technology we have. It can connect to any network in the world, and you're going to roam whatever and everything like that. And they're all talking about how successful cellular IoT is. And then I have to remind them that 80% of IoT devices are connected via, wait for it, Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi.
Yeah. That's, I mean.
There's a reason. And Marc said the reason. Marc just said the reason. Most IoT solutions happen indoors. They're inside buildings, they're inside warehouses, inside factories.
I'm not
skyscrapers.
I don't know what you say or what you read this 80%, but I don't agree that 80%.
Internet told me.
The internet
told you, not ChatGPT. Okay. So if the internet told you.
Yeah, the internet said 80% of connections are Wi-Fi. So
oh my God.
It must be true.
Hopefully
For IoT devices, it depends. If they use electricity, that's fine. If they are battery based, they cannot survive with Wi-Fi.
So, but that's if
I'm bagging
if most IoT solutions happen indoors,
Uh-huh.
and indoors you get free, I say free in air quotes, electricity. You can plug in a wall, and there's already Wi-Fi in the building. Of course, I'm going to use the Wi-Fi to send my data. Of course, I'm going to do that. I'm going to piggyback on what's already there. I'm not going to go try to build some new parallel IoT network. It
depends on the devices too, right? And so I think like the whole idea of this IoT stuff in like indoors was that you're going to be deploying new categories of devices that could be, wireless and deployed without having to charge the thing every day, right? This promise of 8-year battery life stuff.
All that stuff. But that was all if we're just being real, let's just be practical people here. I only need that 10-year battery, and I've got some tiny microcontroller, and I'm on that if I'm outside, where I'm in a smart farm or whatever outdoors, where that's what I have to do. But if I say I'm only going to play indoors, which luckily is where most IoT actually happens, I don't care. I could use a big fat Raspberry Pi as my IoT device. I don't care. I'm going to plug it in the wall.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use Wi-Fi.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And so I think you really have to think through all those scenarios. And
I remember being excited because you're right. Like I spent all that time doing the farm stuff, and you're right. I was doing microcontrollers and batteries and solar and all that. And then I was excited to see people doing indoor farming, like those hydroponic and stuff like that. And I was like, yes, they've got electricity. They've got Wi-Fi. Yes, I don't have to kill myself putting solar panels above a canopy of apple trees to get enough juice to keep my microcontroller running.
Energy harvesting. Yeah.
Exactly. So that was exciting. So, wow.
Yeah, and all of this really to substantiate or support this theory that you're going to have these, higher fidelity digital twins of large environments, right? Right? Because I think the thesis back then was that hey, it costs too much to run conduit and wire all these things together. Here, let's just deploy these long battery life, high endurance connected sensors out everywhere, so that we can have a more high fidelity view of our environments and our assets, right? But that's what didn't work out, I think.
In case you kids don't know what high fidelity means.
Oh my god, dude!
It's high fidelity.
Does it have Wi-Fi?
That's per channel. Remember, real people use 2-channel high-end audio gear. Here's my professional DJ Pioneer PLX 1000. High fidelity. We're not talking about a 7-point run multi-room deal where you end up having 10% harmonic distortion. That's not what we're talking about, and that's not what Leonard's talking about with high fidelity digital twins.
Yeah, there you go.
I just want to level set with everybody out there.
Additional data points, right? Because I recently saw this article where apparently the folks in Tokyo, the city of Tokyo, created a cloud point model of the entire city, or at least a good part of the city, and they call it digital twin. And it's like,
good luck with Tokyo. Wow.
No, that's not a digital twin. And it's a digital twin if elements are constantly changing and it's reflected in your model. Then you have a friggin' digital twin.
We talked about building digital twins of cities. I just saw this post. Actually, it's funny you say that. Where they go, there's cities, there's large cities, there's metropolises, and then there's Tokyo.
Okay.
So much bigger than anything else in the world. And so when you think about, I'm going to make a digital twin and twins of twins of Tokyo.
Don't start with Tokyo.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. I'm going to start with Dripping Springs, Texas.
Yeah.
What I'm going to start with.
We'll just start with
way up to Mount Fuji.
Exactly.
Hey, so, dude, I love your shirt, man.
Like that.
Oh my god! What do you call it? What is that?
That's Santa Claus, man. Where I come from, that's Santa Claus.
Oh yeah.
No, it's a grilled up Santa Claus.
I love it.
Come on, guys.
What do you?
Oh yeah, you're right. He's got a grill on, right? Yeah. And he's got like his.
I love that.
Yeah. Oh,
it should have been. I should
Yeah.
have this morning. What was I
Oh my
thinking?
god. Oh, that's Santa Claus right there, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Santa Claus.
No other kind of Santa Claus that was coming to my hood.
No, that's yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. How's it going, Debbie?
Hey, Debbie. Merry Christmas or Happy New Year. It's Hanukkah now, so Happy Hanukkah, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Hanukkah, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone had AI conversations about AI in the Christmas dinner
No.
with the family? Or
Yes, unfortunately. My mom keeps bugging me about AI companies and stuff like that. She tells me I know nothing. She goes, no.
She's asking for investment advice on what.
Yeah, I told her. So, yeah,
Right.
I said, don't listen to me because you won't make any money. So if you do the opposite of what I tell you, you'll probably make a lot of money because I can't predict nonsense and how like hype, ridiculousness goes. There's no way of predicting that stuff. You can create it. You can create those narratives, whether or not they catch and scale out magnificently. But there are all these now posts, actually articles now coming out about how no one's making money off of this stuff, including Microsoft, and it's hilarious. Did you see that clip? He was interviewed by somebody and he literally says, who's making money? Who has more than I think it's like a measly 5 million daily active users, whatever the hell that means. And there's almost none,
Right. But we've spent some billions of dollars to build the infrastructure to support this stuff for a handful of people who are making cool pictures.
It just reminds me of Metaverse. When he got up on stage it was just 2.5 years ago. He got up on stage and says that, we're a Metaverse. Microsoft is now a Metaverse company. I was like, okay.
Remember that whole industrial Metaverse that they were talking about? Yeah. Get everybody drinking the Kool-Aid. So we've all talked ad nauseum about AI, generative AI, and where it's going, where it's not going, investing in it. Here's the thing I had a problem, and I had to post something about it. I'll probably get in trouble. I keep seeing people I know making predictions around revenues from quantum computing.
Oh my God.
Projections on quantum computing. And I'll get in trouble because I might be close to some of these people who are making all these multi-billion-dollar, it's going to be an $8 billion, or it's going to be a whatever, of quantum. I was like, just as a reminder, kids, it's still an R&D thing. It's not even in the half of the first inning of the baseball game. They're not even on the on-deck circle yet. Yeah. I think they're up. Everybody got excited because Google came out with this Willow thing. I don't know if it's 100 qubits or whatever. We need to be at tens of millions of these qubits to make anything real happen. And so whenever I see, and I've seen real companies put in their forecasts of all this money they're going to be making off of quantum in the next few years, I'm like, you're going to make zero off of quantum in the next few years.
You're going to make negative money.
Negative money. If you're lucky, and so I just kind of threw it out there. I was like, we're not going to see any widespread commercialization of quantum until the 2040s. And that's being really optimistic. But a lot of people are like, oh, you're crazy. We're almost there. I'm like, no, you're not almost anywhere. You're just not. You're not even close. You've got one tiny edge case that you can say, look at this. It would have taken 1 trillion years to solve this tiny problem, but now we've solved it with quantum.
And it's a press release. And they even say, this is research. But people ignore that. Research. It's like, oh my God, people, what is wrong with you?
Of course, Rick Bellotta trolls LinkedIn to tell you how you're wrong about things. That's what Rick does. And so it's like, it's not going to happen in our lifetime, if ever. And other people are like, yeah, you're wildly optimistic. Other people are like, we're almost there. Other people are like, maybe in another 100 years. Yeah. I've heard people saying, maybe we need to start over. Maybe we're going about this new quantum leap in computing the wrong way.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to rethink
I
it.
think that we are. I want to be the kid in the back of the car going, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?"
Exactly.
That's me. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, because this whole conversation about quantum, first off, nobody can really define it for me yet. Define it. It's quantum networking. Okay, great. What does that mean?
Quantum entanglement.
What do you do with it?
It's just like the two tin cans with a string, except we're going to entangle them.
Yeah. No, like in Star Trek, remember in Star Trek how, they'd be out like, hundreds of light years away from Earth, but they can have a real-time conversation with Starfleet Command. That's what quantum networking and communication would be like, right?
It's a genius on the show.
Broadband to the rural areas. What the hell are we going to do with damn quantum networking?
No, but trading, financial trading. Anyone who can get there and and get to the virtual trade desk in absolute real time, meaning like.
So what you're saying is
nanoseconds is
the street guys want this.
Oh yeah.
You can do high frequency trading through quantum entanglement to beat retail traders to the deal.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's
okay. It's all about you guys.
Yeah, very, very niche, selfish, narrow things that are not going to save the world. Financial trading doesn't create economic value. It's just market making, right? That's all it is. It doesn't create economic value.
All of this sounds like movies and shows we've seen before. I mean, you said the trading thing, and the first thing that came to my head is looking good, Lewis. Feeling good, right?
Exactly.
Trading place.
Like would be in a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are a couple of bookies. I think he gets it.
I mean, and I think Leonard, you commented on one post, and I was like listening to it, and I was like, this strangely sounds like an episode of Twilight Zone. Imagine if you will.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's really what it all is. I'm just like, you know what? I struggle a lot with man, I should go ahead and post this. I've written hundreds of posts that I'm like, I just let it go. I'm like, I want to do real shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I really want to go and do real stuff. And some of the stuff that we're doing is pretty damn cool. And I'm just not saying anything about it yet.
No.
But, it circles all the way back to, the digital twin thing. Everyone has one now. Let me show me yours. I'll show you mine. Let me. Everyone has a damn digital twin now. And I'm like, okay, but there's a difference. Right. And we've said this all along. There is the pretty 3D modeled one. Then there's the operational digital twin. The operational digital twin is entirely different. Yeah. Because to your point, Leonard, it does change with the environment because data is moving all over the place. People are moving, things are moving. Right. Yeah. And you have to have this construct. You start thinking about, we're going to do a digital twin of the city. Do you understand the magnitude of data that you are talking about?
Yeah.
Lots of data. Yeah.
And how fast you need to show it?
And then, think about it, like a point cloud. What's the use of that? I mean, you guys have been talking about, actually, Rob, you talk about a lot too, is the like what you're referring to, Bill, is operational one, because those are like the data points that are essential in supporting some sort of intelligence or analysis or, something that has business value, right? Yeah. Having like petabytes of cloud point data on on a building that's static, probably isn't going to change for a while. Is kind of silly, right? And then what are you going to have, like point clouds of a snapshot of how a tree and its leaves are positioned for what value, And so this is like a lot of this like sensational, nonsensical, poorly thought out stuff that we constantly see, being peddled by people who really don't understand technology, and number two, the actual valuable application and implementation of technology, what it takes. And that requires what all of us on IoT Coffee Talk have is like, we've been in the trenches, we've done this shit before. We're not talking out of our butt. You want to throw us in the trenches and help, implement a solution, we can do it. That's why we're on here and we're talking and we're trying to share and then push our IoT buddies in a better direction. That's what we're recognized for that, right? But what we're really fighting, especially going to 2025, is like there's a bunch of nonsense. It's like, think about all those bozos that were like selling classes for prompt engineering a year and a half ago. All the companies that probably wasted their money with some guy going, hey, you can become a prompt engineer. And
Did you see?
Degree.
Did you see the meme, the funny cartoon floating around the internet where the daughter brings her new boyfriend to the house to meet dad? And she's like, Dad, it's my new boyfriend. He's an AI engineer. And dad's like, oh, cool. And the guy goes, I'm a prompt engineer. And the dad's like, get the fuck out of my house. Okay, so when Leonard and I jumped on this morning, we were talking about how we're going to kind of recap things that we did in 2024, because I was literally just finishing a post on what did I do this year. And it actually kind of ties into stuff Bill's talking about because it's around cities and digital twins. So I'm going to tell you some of the stuff I did in 2024. The first half of the year, I was still helping out this startup that's focused on smart buildings and cities and stuff like that. And so in the first half of 2024, I mashed together IoT and digital twins and AI, and I built a smart building platform that allows owners and managers of buildings, corporate campuses, skyscrapers to bring these properties to life digitally. And so I did digital twins of the properties, corporate campus, one or more buildings, one or more floors, spaces like rooms within the floors, and everything like that. So model that as digital twins. And then the IoT stuff, within each of those spaces, you're monitoring lighting, HVAC, how many people are in there, CO2, voltage, how much electricity is being used in this part of the building, that kind of stuff. And then and other environmental stuff. And then for outputs, I did simple descriptive stuff, like here's some dashboards about what's going on. I use KPI analytics, red, yellow, green, if it's over here, kind of threshold stuff. And then I did machine learning to predict system failures. And to go a little deeper there, what I found useful was I learned about over a year ago, something called ML.NET. Since I'm this weird .NET Microsoft guy and building stuff in C#, there's this ML.NET thing that has this cool auto ML where it's like you take a data set, let's say it's data coming from an HVAC machine, and I want to know if it's going to fail, right? And it uses this stuff called auto ML, and so you pull back the data set, it goes through, you're about to do training, and it looks at all these different algorithms, ML algorithms, and figures out the best one, or as they say, the best with the highest R squared.
Yeah.
And then plugs that in, and then it trains the model, and then it creates code scaffolding for you so that it could be a REST service or some other code that then you do inferencing against to do predictions. This was great revelation for me because I'm not a PhD data scientist. And so, while everybody's geeking out about generative AI and they just call it AI, I found this auto ML, which I'm starting to see other companies using it, as a game changer for people who need to do narrow AI. I see AIN, artificial narrow intelligence, ANI, whatever. That stuff actually works. That's real. You know what I mean? For predictive stuff. So I built that. So I built it on Azure, and I used app services. I use SQL Azure, which is SQL Server. I use .NET Core, C#, for the backend logic. I use the AutoML. I was able to somehow magically model digital twins parent-child relationships and peer relationships in a relational database. I know that sounds insane to all you newcomer digital twin people who think you have to have a graph database. You can make it work in your ugly relational database, kids. And so that was a lot of fun. And so I built that, and I have this code we talked about before. I have this code laying around here. So if anybody wants a digital twin for buildings and properties, I've just got something laying around. It's probably only worth like $100 million, but I might let you know. The other thing I did to get more hardware-y and infrastructure was, and we talked about this early in the year, when we started witnessing, obviously there's this AI, generative AI craze going on, right? And everybody's building all this infrastructure. And then I started hearing, aside from the hyperscale clouds, all kinds of data center companies, they're building data centers as fast as they can right now. They're building them like crazy, and they're packing them full of servers to train models and stuff like that. And so I was still living in that world of that smart building. And remember, I was saying, well, maybe I could build micro clouds inside the telecom closets of these buildings. And, you know, people at like Vapor.io in Austin, they use giant shipping containers, and they were packing those full of servers. So it was kind of this other notion of, or it could be a half rack of servers, this idea of a micro cloud. And so I started using, Canonical, which is the company that makes Ubuntu Linux. They also came out with something literally called microcloud. Think of it as like a miniature version of OpenStack or OpenShift.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So using 3 Intel NUCs, I got that working. And so to cluster, it made it easy to cluster these 3 NUCs, cluster storage pools, because if you're going to do that, your own cloud, it needs to be dynamic, right? I need to have pools of storage, RAM, and I didn't do containers yet, but I'd use KVM for virtual machines in there, and I could dynamically scale those kind of things. And so I had fun investigating and prototyping that kind of stuff to build little micro clouds in strange, non-traditional locations, because people want to train models wherever they can, right? People are dying for compute. And then the other cool thing is I remember some of the stuff I got to design aspects of Azure while I was at Microsoft. And so I remember designing this idea of, there's this notion of public cloud called availability zones, right? I'm going to replicate 3 copies of data to other parts of the data center and all that. So I remember designing that for, if I'm in a skyscraper, there's different telecom closets going up each floor of the building. And so I would replicate data to those, and those would be availability zones. Yeah. It's crazy. So that was kind of fun. So those are kind of the 2 big things where I built stuff. Obviously, I've been at IDC writing a lot.
And then I joined IDC.
And then I joined IDC, and now I'm writing stuff. Yeah. Talking, right? So there you have it.
Just like you do on IoT. That's one hell of a year, man, if you really think about it.
I had so much fun building the digital twin building thing. It was a blast. It's so much fun to write software. It's a blast.
I'll tell you though that the building digital twin thing is really starting to take off in a real way. And I'm not talking about the 3D pretty models and everything like that, because again, when you start talking about things moving around or things shifting, because they do, outlets move. I mean, things move. And if you are saying that's it, you don't want to have to take that damn model down, reconstruct everything, and then put it back up. One of the cool things that we did, which was, first off, in February, we kicked off True North Software Solutions. All right. 2 big things there. We took no VC money, and we're employee owned.
That's a huge lesson for everybody right there, dude.
Okay. We worked with an organization called Stimson, and they report to the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Warfare or Chemical Weapons, and we built a solution for them to track and trace chemicals as they come into Canada. And we use distributed ledger technology to do that. We didn't build it on Ethereum or any of those or anything like that. It is a private chain with our partners.
There you go. There you go.
Right. So
There you go.
we took the tech and we said, well, wait a minute, we can solve this problem with it. And we went and we did that. And now they're talking about getting all of these other national authorities. There's going to be a big deal that's happening. All right. So we did that, bootstrapped. The other thing that we did is because when building digital twins, people think that you go into a city or you go into an organization, you go, we do digital twins. And they're going to go, great. The best thing, I'm going to give this one for free. All you people out there, all you companies out there that are building digital twins, the best thing that you can do is to show someone their data. Now, how you get it, that's your problem.
Right.
We go in and we wanted to show that it's innovation. You know, the question, what is innovation? Innovation is not the invention of something. It is that is there and turning into a solved problem. You are solving a problem end to end. Remember, I told you before earlier in the year, we live in the gap of the ugly. The only thing that's pretty about what we do are the people. Now, what we did is we said, well, wait a minute, there's this thing called Vision Zero. And Vision Zero is detecting fatalities or accidents at any given intersection. You want to reduce the fatalities. So there's a lot of people out there that are doing, pieces of this and everything like that. But what's the one piece that's missing is a piece of workflow automation. So what do? We build a digital twin, we monitor the traffic, and we access the cameras at the time an event is noted. We put that on the distributed ledger. Oh, and by the way, here's the automated workflow piece. We kick off a response to the first responders, the emergency centers, all of that. And everything is on the chain. So we can't touch it, we can't change it, we can't do anything. But you get a first responder there 3 minutes early, you might save a life.
No.
Those are the two things that we did.
Oh, are you trying to make everyone feel small, man? Like, that's like mean, dude.
That's good stuff, man. But you're so right. It's not a 3D model. It's a bunch of metadata or data, and it's all clustered together. You're right. You might need to change it around. Absolutely.
We haven't talked about digital twin in a long time, but is Debbie still on?
Yeah, I'm here.
You haven't said anything, and that's like criminal. Really. Oh my gosh.
I've been going listening to you, gents. Stop.
No, that's not allowed. That's not allowed. We need to hear data.
Do you find yourself doing anything with digital twins ever? Not so much.
She's thinking.
That's all right. That's all right.
Oh, a lot of us don't do anything with digital twins.
No, but see, the thing about it is that from a privacy aspect, the digital twin, you got to respect the privacy side of it.
Oh, yeah.
The cybersecurity and the privacy side. People don't understand all the stuff that's running under the hood in terms of active CVE monitoring. We're monitoring because we're getting data from all these other sources and everything. I don't know if that one thing that you got over there, number one, do you have an S-bomb tied to that device? If you don't have an S-bomb tied to that device, we have a problem because we want to make sure that firmware that's being updated is not going to give us BS data that is going to cause false.
Oh man, you
right?
We're talking about problems on a different level. I mean, that's like maintenance and assurance and trust, and those are all layers of complexity that people barely touch on until they've actually invested in all this stuff and then figure out, hey, we have to maintain this stuff. Oh, we have responsibility. You know, it's crazy. No, you're absolutely correct. And a lot of these, like even with like these network APIs that everyone's talking about in the telco arena, it's not just as easy as just having or publishing an API off of your network. It's okay. How do you trust people who are consuming that information and data, right? And consuming that service, brokering that, providing assurance. There's like all this additional complexity beyond just the technical, that technical architectural view, right?
Yeah.
And see, again, I think when you see the talking heads create these massive numbers, they don't factor these things in, or they don't even have a good feel for it and the layers of complexity that goes into building a trusted system. You know what I'm saying? And then having to deal with the fact that we have a long legacy of and huge inventories of untrustable systems out there that have been designed without security in mind, but now everyone's trying to put that on the internet somehow. It's just but everybody, that's the ugly, that's the gap of the ugly, right? You got to work that in order to get to solutions that don't just provide the face value, but are sustainable and trustable. They don't present risk to anyone who uses the service and anyone who's delivering the service. So, those are great points, man.
And to your point, I mean, you're talking about, I mean, again, just in the traffic side of it, you've got vehicles, you've got traffic management data, you've got camera data, you've got all of these other
Oh my God
pieces. And are you seeing, so here's the one that gets me. Oh, well, we blur the license plates. I'm like, get the out of here with that. We blur this. And I'm like, do you understand that can be taken away? All that stuff is more accessible.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And then it may not be done in real time either. So the masking.
Yeah.
I know way too much about traffic. So you ask me almost anything IoT and traffic, I can tell you all about it. Like fleet, emergency management, license plate, wacky things people want to do, throw stuff on the pole.
Yeah. So I mean, and when again, I mean, it's one of those things. I think a lot of companies kind of try to position themselves as, oh, we're the one throat to choke. Oh, we're the solution provider. Oh, we're this. You know what? We say it all the time. That's why if you look at True North says navigating your waves of data is easier when you know your true north. If you know where you're going or where you want to land, that's what we're stewards of the data. None of that stuff is owned by us.
So it looks like Bill had a good year.
I did.
Love it.
All right. Well, we're running up on time, but hey, anybody else want to share their 2024 story? Mine's very short. It was busy and hellalicious. A lot of stuff. That's all I got to say. And 2025 is going to be crazier.
7-figure numbers.
From who?
That's what I hear Leonard saying.
I wish. Not really. I want peace and harmony and goodwill to all men. That's all.
I just want connectivity for all men.
Yeah, that too. And devices.
Yes.
K through 12 and
yes.
Right?
Yes, that's an important thing.
Stuff. Yeah. Anyone else? Debbie, you have a serious deficit. You have a deficit in time here. You owe us.
To get a chance. Yeah. I have to make it up to you guys. I had to jump on late. Just wacky things going on today. So the data diva is in demand.
Yes.
I have a class problem.
500,000 downloads.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
Yeah.
I give a teaser. Something. A big company, which I will not name, has asked me to speak to their corporation globally about privacy. So,
wow.
A big one.
I'm hearing 7 figures from Debbie.
Yeah.
No, she's falling.
Pretty interesting. Just put it like this: one is on the front page of the newspaper a lot.
Oh my gosh, we can think of a lot of companies, but they're all big. Congratulations! Awesome. Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, you know what? She's such a great example of someone who took a rather niche and probably unpopular topic at the time and is like blowing up. You know, I mean, that's it, and it's for the greater good too. You know, security, cybersecurity, privacy. These are things nobody gave a crap about. I mean, you know, we need to go into a time machine and go back. You know, and that's why I think IoT Coffee Talk is so cool. Because we talk about how people are thinking about and talking about technology at that time, right? And so we always have to treat the content from previous years in the context of that time, that moment, and where the discourse was around some of these tech topics around IoT and beyond. And you know, that's why I love doing this with you guys. I mean, I've said it before. I listen back on episodes. I go, did we talk about that? It's like, how long ago did we? Oh crap, we talked about this now almost going on 5 years. So we have a track record.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know?
Yeah, let's think about it. We brought up helium. We can go back to that helium episode and say, no, we called it. You know,
we even brought someone from Helium here.
Yeah, we brought him. He was cool dude too.
Yeah.
And
in 2025, we're launching our new competitor called Ponzi.
Are you going to bring someone from Ponzi Corporation?
That's you. It's you.
Yeah.
You're the leader.
We need to.
I heard you the CEO of Ponzi. What that means is if it goes down in flames and the government comes after us, they're going to come after you. So congratulations on being the new CEO.
Okay. Well, on that note, who wants to take us out? The last episode of the year. Come on.
All right.
There you go.
All right, kids. This is your Uncle Billy here. All right. Thanks so much for hanging with us in 2024. It's been a crazy year. It's been a roller coaster, ups and downs, people starting new businesses, creating new technologies, consulting with their customers, making the world a better place for tech. We've definitely rode lots of NVIDIA waves up and down and up and down. Quantum is not going to be hot in 2025, but somebody might try to say it is. Come back to us in 2050 and we'll talk about it, okay? Thanks for being with us. And it is crazy. You're right. In 2025, we'll probably be celebrating our 5th year on air. I can't believe we've been doing this. This is great. Love all you guys. This has been such a wonderful thing to just be able to hang out. I'm all over it. Thanks for all your support of Elevator Kids and helping, you know, all our kids in disadvantaged situations, under-resourced communities, you know. Get them that laptop where they can get some education, get that connectivity. We're working with the good folks at T-Mobile to put all that stuff together. Lots of people talk a good game about bridging the digital divide. We actually do it. That's actually why we do Coffee Talk, is to support that. And so that's the bigger mission, is to help out these kids and have a better life. We are looking forward to a great 2025 with all you folks. We're going to talk about a lot of really important things and some ridiculous things too, I'm sure, as usual. Thanks for everybody being with us. I hope you're having a great, happy holidays and have an amazing 2025. And we will see you next year.